here. Definitely going to have these on the quiz, and but it's been a long time since we had them. Right, so the first thing that I always do is I don't like those negative exponents. Remember, you can't leave negative exponents in your problem, so you move them to the other part of the fraction. Right, so this y to the negative 6 is going to go up, and this x to the negative 2 is going to go down. You only move the part with the negative exponent. You don't move everything, just the part with the negative exponent. So what am I going to have up here now, up at the top?
4y to the third, x, y to the sixth.
4y to the third, y to the sixth, over
32, x to the fifth, x.
Okay. Now, when you multiply two things that have the same base together, what do you do with their exponents?
Add them.
Add them. So what will I have in the top now? 4y to the ninth over 32 x to the seventh. Okay, now there's one more thing that I can simplify here. When you have coefficients, you can simplify those just like you would a normal fraction. Well, 4 goes into both of them, so if I divide them both by 4,
Then it's 1/8.
so I'm going to have 1 to the ninth, or 1y to the ninth in the top over 8
X
in the bottom.
Seriously?
easy peasy.
Okay, now, on the second one, I don't have any negative exponents to deal with this time, so I don't have to move anything, but I do have x's and y's in both the top and the bottom. What's the power on this x down here? 1.
Uno.
All right. Now, where do I have more x's?
On
How
top.
many more? 3. So this one's going to cancel with one of those and leave me with 3 left up there. How about y's? Where do I have more?
On the bottom.
How many more? 3. So I'm going to have y to the third down there because these two will cancel with 2 of those. All right, and then as far as my coefficients go, where will the 4 be? In the top. Okay, so it's really just a lot of canceling. Now, let's say, for example, not you.
And everyone's
Okay, let's say, for example, I gave you these two fractions together and I had them being multiplied. What would you do for a first step? How? What's that? Okay, so how would you go? Multiply everything in the top across, multiply everything in the bottom across, get one fraction, and then do your cancel. Right? That's,
Do we switch to the
yes. Well, so you'll add your exponents and everything. So here I would go 4 times 28 is going to be whatever that is, big number, right? X to the negative second times x to the fourth, multiplying two things with the same base, so I'll get x to the second because I'm going to add their powers.
Right.
Yep. And then I'll get y to the fifth in the top. And then I would do the same thing to the bottom. And then when I have that one fraction, then start doing my canceling and moving of negatives if necessary.
Okay.
Right? Okay, good.
Trace.
That was not the case in this problem, but just in case you see that, hint, hint. All right.
Guaranteed.
All right, write an expression for a cone. I gave you guys the formula for this one yesterday. 1/3 base times height, big base. And the shape of my big B then down here, circle, so it's 1/3 pi r squared h. Okay, well, what's r? 3/2 x. What's h? 2x times pi times 1/3. Now what I do when I get a problem like this is I make everything a fraction. How do I make 2x into a fraction? Put it over 1. Okay. Pi, I'm going to do the same thing to that one. Now, according to the order of operations, I should do exponents first. Right? So when I square everything in here, what am I going to get? And I'm going to have an x squared, right? Everything got squared, right? Now I've got my 2x over 1 here, pi over 1, 1 over 3. Now, I would just multiply everything on the top together. What's 1 times pi? Pi times 9x squared.
9x squared pi.
Okay, and then times 2x.
18. That's the third pi.
Good. Over, down in the bottom, 12. Now, does an 18 and 12 have anything in common that I can simplify?
6.
How many 6's in the top then?
3. The number of the beast.
How about in the bottom?
Oh, yeah, 3 cents. Dude, I want to go watch.
Okay, number 5 here. Factor. What do those two terms have anything in common, if anything?
4 and an X.
4 and an x. Leaving me behind with?
X minus 6.
Okay. Now, I could easily change this problem to the ones that we did at the end of the sections and say it equals 0.
Wait, is that the answer?
This is what the answer would have been in last night's homework. I'm showing you something else that I could have done with that problem on a quiz. Right? I could have said that it equals 0. Then what would make this 0?
6.
And what would make this one 0? 0. Okay? So you could just have them, just be aware of what the directions are going to say. If they're going to say factor, all you have to do is just factor it and be done with it. Like, what's the stuff that's in the blue? But if it says solve, then you're going to want to factor it and then decide what makes each piece equal 0. Okay? So here's another one where the directions just said factor. Right, so what do you multiply together to get this? 2x and 1x. All right, now my sign, I multiply together to get a negative, which means they got to alternate. And then I multiply together to get 21, and then I'm not sure about the 11 yet because this 2 is going to throw things off, so I'm definitely going to want to check it. So what do you multiply together to get 21? Okay. All right, so when I check this, I'm going to get 2x squared minus 6x plus 7x minus 21. What do I get in the middle here?
No, what?
1x. Is that what I wanted?
No.
Nope. Then I better try again.
Switch them.
Switch them?
Yeah.
Ah. Come on,
Yes,
you.
come on.
All right. So 3 and 7 maybe? All right. So when I check this one, I'm going to get 2x squared minus 14x plus 3x minus 21. What am I going to get in the middle this time? Negative 11. Is that what I wanted?
No.
It's close. How do I fix it? Switch the signs. So this is going to become positive, and this one is going to be negative. Okay, and that's what I would have if the directions just said factor. What if I said equals 0? Now what are my answers?
Negative 7.
What's going to make this one 0?
3 halves.
Good. I'd have to add 3 to both sides. 2x equals 3, divide by 2, x equals 3 halves. So 3 halves and negative 7.
Yep.
So I could have easily turned that problem into a solve instead of just a plain old factor. All right, now 12 is already factored. What did they want?
Turn it into
Find the product. So we're supposed to FOIL it out. So 4x squared minus 10x minus 6x plus 15
that equals 4x squared.
minus my 16x. All right.
Easy.
So just FOIL it out, combine like terms. 16 and 17 are like the baby versions of problem 1 and 2. I've got x's in the top and the bottom, so what happens? You would either subtract the exponents, that's one way to think about it. I kind of quit doing that a long time ago, and now I say, where do I have more?
Up top.
How many more?
1 more.
1. So this one's going to cancel with 2 of those, so I'm going to get 3x. How about here?
You're just gonna get 5
You're
X.
just going to get 5 because they can
Up
both
5.
Just 5 because the x's all cancel. Just 5. because I would get, or if you thought about that one with the subtraction of exponents when they stack, so you'd get 5 x to the 2 minus 2 power. Well, that's 0. What's anything to the 0 power?
1.
So I have 5 times 1, which is 5. That's kind of the long way to go about it. This canceling thing is a lot faster, but they both get you the same end. On number 19,
Oh, this one.
now they've already started this one for me. They've already started factoring it. So if one of them is x plus 5, what's the other one going to have to be? What do you multiply x by to get this?
2x. Then plus 3.
And it's going to have to be plus 3, and that matches up with my signs. Okay. What if they ask me if this one equals 0?
Negative 5 and 3 over 2.
Negative 3 over 2. Good. All right. And 20. All right. Anything special about those numbers?
They're all
They're
cubed.
All perfect cubes. And it's the sum of two cubes. So I'm going to get a small set of parentheses and a big set of parentheses.
It's going to be plus, minus, and plus.
Good. What goes here?
8, 2, x, 2, yeah.
2x. How about here? 5. This one?
4x squared.
3,
This one?
2, 1, 25.
25.
And this one.
1x.
Okay. Now, that's the factor, if that's what my directions said. If I ask if this one equals 0, what makes this 0? Close. Negative 5 over 2. That'd be one of my answers. How am I going to get the other two? Quadratic formula. And what's going to be, what's special about them?
Imaginary.
They're going to be imaginary. So I'm going to get A equals 4, B equals negative 10, and C equals 25. So the opposite of B, plus or minus, big square root of B squared. It's 100 minus 4 times A times C all over 2A. 10 plus or minus square root of 100 minus C, 16 times 25. 400? All over 8, so that's 10 plus or minus square root of negative 300 for 8. Any perfect squares in 300? 100. Okay. And since it was a negative in there, what's that mean?
It's
So I'm going to get 10i square root of 3 over 8. Am I done?
No, divide by 2.
All of these are even, so I'm going to get 5 plus or minus 5i square root of 3 over 4.
That looks really good.
All right, I got one more. What do these two terms have anything in common?
They're both even.
They're both even, so I can pull out a 2. Anything else?
You can pull out
X is X.
X to the 4th. What will that leave me behind with here?
100 x squared.
How about here? Minus 1. Am I done?
Are you done?
No, we're not done. This one factors more. What's special about it? 100 is perfect square. So is x squared. So is 1. Yep. So I'm going to get 10x plus 1, 10x minus 1, and then I still have this 2x to the 4th out here. Now, if I had said that this one equaled 0, what makes this one equal 0? How about this one? How about this one? 0, 4 times. That gets me 4 of my solutions, 5, 6, and that's the 6 I needed. Okay. A little clearer,
Yeah.
I hope.
Crystal.
Crystal clear.
It's not good. All right, so we're going to do that quiz on Monday then.
Cool, man.
I'll do it on
Next year.
I'll do it Tuesday.
Right, next year.
Yay, good. So clever man.
Not, wait.
7?
I can't. Dude, the best part about New Year's is pizza.